our equipment should be installed so that it can perform, or its coverage will be as required as that of the standards. Whatever um, output which we require from a facility, CNS facility, that should be the result should be obtained without any hindrance. So we have to select the site in such a fashion that the coverage requirements, um, whatever we say interferences from the nearby obstacles, they should be minimized. So such site is our prime requirement before finalizing it. So the basic requirement in siting a DME beacon are to ensure adequate coverage and to avoid the possibility of interference to the correct operation of the aid. So we should get proper adequate coverage, whichever is whatever is required. When DME is, can anybody repeat? As day before yesterday, I have told what is the coverage of DME. Anyone, please? DME का कवरेज क्या होना चाहिए सर? सर कोई तो आंसर दीजिए. Anybody there? दो केसेस बताए थे हमने. डीएमई जब कोलोकेटेड है किसी के साथ तब क्या होता है, एंड व्हेन इट इज कोलोकेटेड विद आईएलएस वीओआर, व्हाट इज द कवरेज?
Sir, when co-located with the ILS, the range should be around 25 nautical mile, and for en route purpose, it should be 200 nautical mile.
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, whenever this DME is co-located with the associated facility, so whatever coverage we are expecting from the associated facility, the same coverage is to be provided by the DME associated to it. So, as you have rightly said, when DME is associated with DVR, so the coverage of the DME which it should provide is that of the VOR. And similarly, if it is associated with an ILS, then it should provide the adequate coverage of ILS as per the specifications. So sites selected in open country should have hills, mountains, large buildings, etc. Everything will be there near to the vicinity of a site, whatever we are where we for our DME. So these the hills, the extent mountains, whatever large buildings or halls or buildings. So all these infrastructure which is nearby and the terrain also, they should be at a smallest angle of elevation. That elevation angle we will speak about in coming slides. So they should be at the smallest angle of elevation as practicable. Why? So that when the so that interference may not happen, so many reflections will come around and they will interfere to our signal. So we don't want these, and hence we require that whatever obstacles are there, they should be at the smallest angle of elevation. Angle of elevation will be counted from which point? Can anybody tell? सर एंगल ऑफ एलिवेशन यहाँ पे जो बात हो रही है, Anyone, please?
From the top of antenna.
Uh, guess is not correct. आप near है, लेकिन not from the top of the antenna, from the base of the antenna. जो जितना भी एंटेना हाइट है वो हम एज अ मार्जिन यूज करेंगे. जो भी हमारा एंगल का एलिवेशन, जो भी हम एंगल ऑफ एलिवेशन जो भी हम काउंट करेंगे, दैट विल बी फ्रॉम द बेस ऑफ द एंटेना. Okay. Similarly, for any facility, when we are talking about DVR also, that is also the base of the antenna. You can say counterpoise height. When we are speaking about sighting criteria of ILS, for localizer, then also it is the base of the antenna from where we will calculate the angle of elevation. So, like this, we are selecting the site, and wherever you are finding this term that what should be the angle of elevation of a particular obstacle from this facility, it is to be taken from the base of that antenna. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So in mountainous terrain, the site should be located on the highest hill or mountain within the tolerance area, but this is not always practicable. So because the site should be properly leveled also, it should be of bushes. So also consider antenna height for restrictions governing antenna height above large expanses. We have to select such a site where it is leveled also. You may have a sufficient height, and that um, that point at which your antenna will be placed, that may also be provided NOC. That should not be a hindrance. Near about obstructions, the distant obstacle horizon should preferably not extend above an angle of 0.5 degree when viewed from the near ground level at the proposed location of the DME. Outside a distance of 10 meters from DME, small buildings, trees, power lines, telephone lines, fences, such infrastructure can be tolerated provided they do not project above a height of approximately 1 meter below the bottom of the DME antenna. If small trees are there, small buildings, hut is there, telephone lines, fences are there, they can be allowed, but they should be below 1 meter from the counterpoise height. Such height can be allowed with respect to DME. Large obstructions such as multi-story buildings, steel bridges, etc. are potential sources of interference to correct. These type far away from the site. Whenever we will plan a new site, we will plan a site so that these obstacles are at least 1.5 kilometers away from the proposed site. And when an existing DME is planned, these if such infrastructure is to be carried out there, if some project is coming, it should also be around 1 kilometer, 1.5 kilometer away from the site. So for new installations, it is preferable to keep at least 1.5 kilometers clear of these type of structures. And for existing DME facilities, the system engineer should be advised of proposal for erection of new structures of this nature within 1.5 kilometers of the site. So on a clear open site, An antenna height of 6 meter is recommended, provided that this clears local obstructions. So if whatever if the infrastructure is previously present, then if we are planning a site, that site should be, first of all, should be cleared from aga. You should not have any problem in getting an NOC of that particular height, and that height whatever you are proposing, recommending, it should clear the local obstructions also. So that trade off we have to take care while selecting a site and the height of the antenna. On obstructed sites such as hilltops, antenna should be raised to provide clear UHF coverage in all directions. In this case, the height of the antenna relative to any large ground or water should be less than 20 meters. Otherwise, deep minima will be produced in the field strength pattern with consequent degradation of service. So that whatever area which you have selected, it should be properly leveled up to 20 meters. Otherwise, this field strength problem will be there and it will result in degradation of the service. Now we will take situation when a DME is co-located with VOR. So when